Okay. Don't you just love her?
Yeah, just got a nice voice. Well, good morning. It is May 1st, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 meeting of the Operations Subcommittee meeting. And we have our wonderful committee members, Maureen C. and Patty Garcia, and myself, Paul Dassett. Well, I'm not, I'm just think you
Yes,
two are
you
just
are.
really top notch. I don't know about myself. Anyway.
Oh, no.
Yes,
Here we are. So any changes to the agenda? And I did make one request that we take a look at the priority task list one more time of April 21st. I'm not sure exactly where you'd like to have it, but maybe after we discuss the public advocate. So because
Okay.
that's the meat of our meeting today. So
Okay.
is that going to be all right with everybody?
Terrific.
Okay, so with your approval, the agenda is approved then. And we want to take a look now at our minutes of April 24th. Has everybody had a chance to go over that?
One pager.
One pager.
That's good.
Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the minutes.
I second.
24.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Minutes approved.
Okay.
Let's move on to our first item, the discussion of the public advocate. So where have we gotten from here? Last,
Well, we got this, I thought they were so kind. Snohomish County, they were just lovely. And we can call the person and talk to the person and
I-
So-
I-
let's do a good job. Yeah.
you're referring to the job description for Snohomish County that you were able to obtain?
I asked for a job description and I asked for duties and a salary. They didn't give me the salary, but I bet if I called the woman, she would tell me.
Yeah, Patty?
I just wanted to make a comment. I loved that you got that. Thank you so much, Maureen, that we have this to work with.
Yeah.
The one thing about this public advocate that struck me that's different from us sort of is that it's totally the negative one. I mean, what we were thinking about was an office that did that and did whistleblower stuff and did all of this and had the power, but also was somewhere where the public could come with positive, just questions about how do I do this, what do I do, and all that kind of stuff. An information source, whether it's that office or somebody in that office. And I really don't want to lose that, because I think that that's what we need, is the positive outlook of getting the community to, well, just like going and paying your property taxes. Where do you go? It's just, I don't know. I don't want it to just focus on the negative. And I believe this position kind of focuses on the negative all the way through it. But hey, that's just my, and I really appreciate
So
getting-
just to review, we all know that I took the actual Snohomish County 2.160 Office of the Public Advocate verbatim, and that we have that. And then I redid it and to kind of give it a little more of a vernacular of the same thing.
Uh-huh.
So that's what you have. And then some attempt to try to remove and some kind of a public advocate to assist the public in county records. So that's kind of where we left off. And where would you like to go from here?
Bob, can I say?
Maureen,
Yeah, go ahead, Marie.
So this is their thing. I don't think we have to use this. We can just,
Yeah.
if we were to develop our
Mhm.
own job description,
Yeah.
I would suggest, I mentioned this to Paul in an email, that, I've got some funny feelings about what's up ahead here. And I don't want to add a bunch of jobs to the county. I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think the county can
I
handle that. They can't handle it from a number of reasons. So why couldn't the girl who's the public records clerk get some of these duties
Mhm.
added into her thing? And she could be the advocate instead of calling her the public records request clerk,
Mhm.
which of course she's in a grim place because the people that she hears from are angry and upset and they want blood out of the county. So if we took some of the positives and rolled it into her thing, I don't even know whether we can do that, but You
Well,
know, it would be the same person.
I think it's a really good suggestion, Maureen. How do you think about that, Patty?
I agree. I think it's a great suggestion. You're not making a new position, although
Yeah,
the person in that may or may not be up to the job to add the other things in it, but they should.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the idea of taking a current position and adding more reasonable duties to it, especially since with the public records, we're also looking to putting more online. So maybe she'll have less to deal with because so
Yeah.
many of those things are available online.
It has always been my thought that if there were records online, we would not need this position. But we do need somebody to advocate for the citizens, and this would be a great jump.
Like that.
I don't know. I think we'd have to.
I think we're all in agreement as to where we're going with this, but we just don't have the verbiage to reflect what we're talking about.
I want to say that it looks like the commissioners, a lot of people on the commission wants this addressed.
Yes,
So
I agree.
I like the idea of taking a position that already exists and adding duties to it. That sounds like a great thing to do as long as we address what they want.
So the first sentence of the public advocate, as I rewrote it, the county council shall establish an office. Well, do we want to say that even? Establish an office. And city council shall have a public advocate for the purpose of making recommendations to the council and appropriate county agencies on complaints concerning the operation of the county government. We could stop right there.
Well, this is you got this out of Snohomish?
Well, yes, it did come out of Snohomish.
Because it's a shall, and I'm just thinking, why don't we say something like the operations subcommittee recommends that the county establish an ordinance for public advocacy through the clerk that does public records or some, just start a roll right into it. And
Start right
Yeah,
off the bat with that.
yeah, and add the duties that we think are positive and reinforcing for the public. I don't know. What do you think, Patty?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's an ordinance that
Yeah, we're not going
I
to
think
come
we
on.
can recommend that that these duties be added
Yeah,
and suggest that that's the place to add them. That this would be more like a suggestion from us rather than not in the charter necessarily.
I think we need to have it in the charter if we can get away with
Right.
it.
Yeah, and I think the CRC as a commission seems to
CRC
reflect that as well.
But I don't know how you put it in the charter if you were changing the duties of a position that's in the county and already exists, because positions aren't listed in the charter except those that are elected.
But but you could call it the Office of Public Advocacy. And
Yeah.
it's our recommendation that this be placed in the charter as a policy that the council should carry through, and that the list of duties would be added to a current, we could just lay it out like.
Yeah.
Add it.
Any of you guys like to take a stab at trying to put some verbiage to this?
Well, we're just thinking the same thing, I believe. The operations subcommittee recommends that a public advocacy office be added to the charter. Is that right?
Well, and I guess that's what we're still talking about, whether it's going to be an office or not.
Well, we can go on to describe our idea that it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
blend it in with
Let's
the,
not just, we won't have to stumble over that for right now. Let's keep on going.
and for the purpose, and we should say for the purpose of, we'll leave out the word investigating, Paul, and say receiving and making recommendations to council and appropriate agencies regarding operations of the county government.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be so negative.
Yeah,
Which verbiage are you taking that from, Maria? I'm using-
your revised one. So
Oh,
we're
okay.
gonna say, we are going to recommend
Mhm.
and we're going to say to the council and county agencies on.
Is there a way to, let's see, I get so lost in my emails. I'd love to be looking at it. I don't know if anybody can share screen of what Paul.
I don't have it.
No, you
pulled
got
up.
yours printed out.
I
Yeah.
sent it to you last week.
Yeah.
Patty.
I
did-
know, but things get lost in my.
Okay.
Well, can I just read the first statement?
Yeah,
on this?
go for it.
It says the county council shall establish by ordinance an office of public advocate for the purpose of receiving, investigating, and making recommendations to the council and appropriate county agencies on complaints concerning the operation of county government, and to respond to inquiries from the public concerning the operation of county government. So this is easy. The subcommittee, subcommittee, makes a recommendation that an office of public advocacy be embellished, be
Established?
be established
In conjunction with,
to make recommendations to the county council and appropriate county agencies concerning the operations of county government. Period.
And then we can indicate after that, that this can be. Let's see, how
with
would
a-
you say?
with a
Can be
recommendation that
Combined with a current,
this, as a recommendation that we can combine this public
Let's
advocacy
say
with,
we, the subcommittee,
yeah.
recommend
Mhm.
that these additional duties
yeah,
be added to the current job description. Hold on, I'm just writing this down, job description. And boy, I'm never going to be able to read my writing on this one. Job description.
It'll all come back. to-
The public records clerk,
Yeah,
public records clerk.
I think you got it there, Maureen.
And then we also recommend that her role be changed to public advocate.
Yep.
good, yeah. Now, what we've done here is put forth a suggestion, and the full commission can run with it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
we don't have to have everything right down there. We're bringing it to them to flesh out, and if they
Yeah.
like the idea, which I like the idea, but
Yep.
somebody might say, oh, well, you can't do that or whatever, but they can run with it because
Well,
they
yeah,
want this position.
this is not chiseled in rock. This is a proposal. That's all it is a proposal.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's subject to change.
When we battled it out last week, it occurred to me that I was taking the side of all that negative stuff and thinking of how that would be perceived by anybody in the county. They would have their fists up about it.
Yeah.
I think that's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you too, Maureen.
If we looked at, and then we'll just say, keep this simple, make this statement,
Yep.
and then say we also recommend that the position be called public advocate,
Yeah.
and these duties would include. And let's just pick out.
I'm going to look for that email.
Develops and implements action plans to resolve public concerns. Determines the methods of well, this is another complaint.
Well, there'll be complaints in there, and that you need to address the complaint side of it because that's what the commission seems to want.
Yeah. Yeah. And in general, that's what a public advocate does, and ombudsman as well.
So we could make the second, the basic function on this public advocate description is the office will receive, we can cross out investigate and make recommendations to the council and appropriate county on complaints concerning operations. Oh, this is kind of a, oh, I see. I'm looking at two things. Yeah, we'll just take out the word investigate because that's kind of aggressive.
Yep.
Okay, So I've found what Paul sent, at least one of them. Is this
Okay.
the right one? Public advocate, the county shall establish an office of public advocate for the purpose of making recommendations to the council,
Yep.
appropriate county agencies on complaints. This is so great. We don't want to just be that first thing, on complaints concerning operation. We want that in there. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. When I took that out from the actual 2.160 Snohomish County,
Yeah,
it was pretty stiff, I thought.
yeah.
So I think we're in the right path where we're going with this.
And we could
Well,
just, the office shall have appropriate authority rather than investigative authority,
Mhm.
if you want.
Well, you know what? When I've been in contact with this group from Snohomish,
Yeah.
and the woman just was so lovely, and she said, "Call me anytime." And here's a link, and the link I opened clearly says she doesn't have any authority. It underlines it.
Oh,
She just is this, like the colander that takes it all in
mhm.
and then disperses it out. But she doesn't have authority to adjudicate anything.
Well, the thing is it has investigated authority. That doesn't mean you then go in and prosecute or but
Right.
you can investigate.
Right.
I thought we were going to take investigate out because
Right,
it's-
right. But I was just saying that's what this one sort of says. Investigative
okay.
authority
Yeah.
is not really. So if we take investigated out and adequate funding to carry out its duties, the office shall monitor and report to the council the disposition. Okay, so I don't know that we need to be that specific. We should with all that kind of stuff. Maybe office shall monitor and report to the council any you might say complaints or
Are
whatever.
you reading the long paragraph, Patty? Is that
Yeah.
the-
Yes, I
Yeah, she
am.
is.
Okay. Okay.
So Maureen, maybe can you come back with what your thoughts are with
Yeah.
in a capsule?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take out legal authority and all that. Forget about the funding. We're expecting them to just do this. But I was going to go back to the job description and say, is there anything in here that we can add to our recommendation and say, this position should include these additional duties?
I don't think
Um,
I'm not sure we need to be that specific.
Well, if we're adding jobs, if we're
We
adding
are adding
description-
jobs, but let's see. What were you suggesting, Marie?
I was suggesting we look at the job description that they
but
said.
the job description kind of drove me up a wall a little bit as I read it. Yeah, that's more for HR to come up with.
All right, so outside of this, we wanted this job to be a front and center thing where public people can contact the public advocate
Yes,
to help them navigate
Yes.
county systems.
Yeah.
and that should be in there.
So when we get into job duties, we're really talking about the objectives of the public
Right.
advocate, and not sure we want to go there.
I don't think we want to specifically write a job.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, I guess I'm always ready to do that. I always think that that's a way that firms it up a little bit.
That's us.
Okay, so the public advocate, okay. Is there any other area we want them? We need a couple of sentences here that describe what's in your head about this role. And Patty, you had some really good ideas last week of what you think this person should do. Besides helping people find things, what else should this person be on the lookout for? Because I'm not going to use whistleblower or any of that language.
Except you want to have this person be within and without, right? In other words, they will accept comments from the public. They will be a clearinghouse. They will be the place where you go to find out things. You know, I don't know what I was saying last time, except that I used the word receptionist as a feeling for, you know, it's where you go, and you didn't like that one.
No, I got my broom out on that one.
I know. But to me, a receptionist is a very
Yeah.
important
All right,
position.
we say they accept and respond to public inquiries
Inquiries, got it.
There you go.
got
That's a
it
good one.
there. Like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that says everything.
it does.
Okay.
Capsulizes.
Good
So,
work.
so years ago, when I worked there at the county, they had Stan Matthews, and he was hired as the county, what was his title? Administrative, oh, what's the word? Communications. That's what his thing was. And that essentially is what we're saying.
Sure.
He was a public advocate. He would respond to off the wall things. We didn't have a Sally Rogers then, but we had we had Stan Matthews, and he was by Pete Rose made the communicator. So essentially, this is what we are looking for: someone who can.
Yep.
Apparently you got rid of that position.
They did well, yeah. They fashioned it for him, and
I
then
don't
they
know
eliminated
who he
it.
is, and I don't know any of these names that you're saying.
So there was no job description out for him at that time. Is that right?
I think there was, but I don't know where it is.
Okay.
But I'm saying that we can use that language. This
Yes.
is the person who communicates, who acts as a liaison with the citizens and the government to kind of answer questions, help them navigate, but accept the statements and respond to them.
Right.
Yes. Good
Okay.
word. Respond. That's an action word.
Advocate, advocate for anybody who comes to them, right?
Yeah,
You know, within the county and from the public.
right.
Because, yeah. Except that within the county, we realized they didn't need that because they had an HR way to go. If it
Well,
would.
that was my question too, Patty. You said so there's an internal way for
Yeah,
employees and
they have
others.
that, depending on what the problem is.
Right.
Yeah.
But the
So
way I,
Snohomish has crossed the line into whistleblower, and that's internal.
Whistleblower, yeah.
But we're talking about external. We're
Yeah.
talking about this person. So like on the front page of the website, they should have, please direct all of your questions to the public advocate at this number.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like that.
Simple.
Yep. I like that.
I hope we're doing,
If there was such a thing as somebody in the system that was a whistleblower that didn't have anything to do about the treatment of this or whatever that, but saw something they wanted and didn't know what to do with, they could go to the public advocate, and the public advocate could say, well, no, that's really should be handled by this person, and then direct them.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I really like our soft approach to this whole thing, and it's going to be,
Yeah.
I think, better for the public in general, personally.
I have a feeling that some of our colleagues are looking at a little hardcore idea, an office and an elected thing, and there's too many electeds being recommended by the commission, and I fear where that's going. But anyway, we'll take this, our second run at a soft approach, which I really, now I kind of see it as a
I
Yeah.
like,
good thing.
I like it.
I think all three of us are like that approach.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll draft something up and get it off to you.
Thank you.
That'd be
It's
great. How soon do you think we need to have this for the commission?
Have you been asked to prepare for a final report?
Not specifically, no.
Well, I bet you we're going to be in the next round.
Probably.
But since we just gave it last week, I'm just wondering if you're going to be back so soon.
Because we have, you know why? They're calling us up because, and they're calling the other one up too, because we have mortar and brick type of things. They're very specific. They can be voted on simply and they can be viewed. They're not tangled up in a bunch of other things. So
Right. So when we, later on in our agenda, when we start to talk about the task
Okay,
items that you had, we can talk about that too.
okay, that sounds
And-
good.
I think that when we are called up, we'll be ready. When, you know, those things that you already listed there, and then this public advocate, and that's what we have to pursue. And so when they call us the next time, then Paul can take that up and just say, we propose that this be acted on. And then the commission will act on it.
Yeah.
That's the difference is I guess we didn't state that or something because they didn't.
Yeah, and yeah, and we can emphasize that the consensus of the committee is that we wanted to make this something that was valuable to the public and not harsh and
Yes.
aggressive.
Right.
Okay. So we're
Thank you.
gonna,
This has been very fruitful, and Maureen, your verbiage, you coming up with that so quickly is just wonderful.
I don't know where it's coming from. I feel like I'm still in bed this morning.
I know.
Well, aren't we all?
Well, have you read the emails that have been going on? I mean,
Yeah,
I responded, well, a long time ago with, the easy thing, just to say, hey, it's in, everything we did basically is in the minutes and in the videos. And then he wanted the deal that I made. And that's all he wanted. And as he stated in the thing, he just wanted the most recent stuff. You didn't need to go back and pull out your ideas that you never worked with and all that. I don't really know why people are so up in arms. It wasn't that difficult. Yes, it had to be done within a 24 hours or whatever, but it wasn't that hard.
well, there's more behind the scenes.
I'm sure there was. And when Amy came out with her other thing about, all of that, and no, you don't really need to worry about that. And so, and then David Dellendorf this morning is like, okay, come on, people. I sort of agree. I think Kevin, the letter that he sent was good.
Yes.
I read through that and I thought, yeah, okay, let's look at this reasonably. But it wasn't such a big deal.
Well, here's the thing. I feel for our chair because he's trying to not lose his mind and blow up at everybody. And the meetings are, you say something and then somebody comes right back and says, well, what about this rule? I just said it. It's very frustrating as a chair, very frustrating.
We have 18 people on this commission and we spent the first hour of our last big meeting saying the same thing over and over again.
And he was very afflicted. His blood pressure went up.
It's so good, but oh my God, it was like by the time I had time to say my thing, we could have gotten this over, an hour ago.
I know. And I made the point. I said, I'm very troubled that some of our members want to just have the discussion about the discussion that we just discussed.
It was like I got over that meeting and I thought, oh, I'm so glad I've never been in the legislature. And I wonder how a legislature can even make laws with all those people they have to deal with. Oh my God, Robert's rules. I know it helps.
It's hard. This has been very hard. And I think, the PA's office should be careful in contradicting what the chair says. I mean, just saying, well, now I'm going to have you do that. And I think that was kind of what set this into a little bit of a higher
I appreciate all of that.
So, Maureen, are you okay with having to draft some language that you just tried to put together on our
Yes, I took
proposal?
notes. Yes, thank you. I just took some notes and I'm going to make this really simple, but it's going to be a recommendation from this subcommittee on this public advocacy department, if you want to call it.
I think we're of like mind on these sort of things.
To send it out so that if we do have any further comments before
absolutely. I'll get this out to you by tomorrow.
Great.
Sure. Wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, you're wonderful, Maureen. You're right on top of things.
I've got a busy day, so I'll probably get to it tomorrow.
Wait till tomorrow. Yeah.
Anyway, so where would you like to go? You want to take up the priority task list now, Paul?
Let's see. Yes, we can do that now. So that we're talking about the April 21st priority task list. I have it in my hand here.
Yeah.
Do you have that as well, Patty?
No, but I'll look for it.
Okay. It's basically what we reported at the
yeah,
PRC.
I mean, if you guys, I can remember it basically, but like I say, things get lost in my email.
So the only reason I want to bring this up is to make sure that we're feeling comfortable that this is our official release to the CRC of our proposals and the findings as well that Maureen so wonderfully put together. And I just want to make sure that this is our structure of what we're all about, and we're ready to present it to, as we already have, but not officially in terms of a vote from the CRC.
Right.
But that's the only thing that's lacking.
So with your support, I'm going to revise this to be a summary of the operations subcommittee's priorities. And I'll redate it May 1 or whatever it is. And it's going to be, number 1 is the issue. Under that, it's going to be the vote, all ayes. and then the findings.
Yes.
Yep.
That's it. It's just going to be very easy to read, and no, I'm not going to write the whole motion out or anything. We're just
No.
gonna
Yep.
do
Leave
that.
space between the two and don't worry about underlining or putting in red. Makes
Oh,
it
I'm going to do some of that, but because it'll just so it's
a lot easier to read it. It's just there.
yeah. Now, the only thing I wanted to say, Paul, is that there's a 5 and a 6, and I don't think we can just ignore them.
No, you're right. We cannot ignore them. And I want to make a comment about that. I'm sorry I didn't do a
Well,
good
what we
job.
put on it is we agreed to not pursue.
But
Correct.
you have to just list it there so that if any, just like they've been saying, if 5 people from the commission want to pursue it, they have a chance to see, oh yeah,
Yep.
that's there, but no, we want to pursue it. So if you put, we agree not to pursue this, and you might put a little explanation as to why. You know, for findings on that, just this is why we didn't pursue it.
So
Oh.
on 5 and 6, we have that statement, members felt no need to pursue any additional changes.
Right, but why?
And why? And what I would suggest, Paul,
Mhm.
is that we believe that 5 and 6, which directly go around the other issues, were being handled by governance.
Okay. So that when we give our findings, that will be included there then?
I
It
don't
was
have
our
it,
understanding.
I don't have it in front of me right now. So what is 5 and what is 6?
5 is evaluate and potentially expand employer evaluation /
Right, okay,
satisfaction process for county manager.
okay.
Just for the county manager.
You believe that that's being handled by governance?
I thought it was, it could be governance or somebody else, but I would say governance because that would make
Okay.
sense.
Being handled by another subcommittee.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
What is
So
6?
so we'll add that in our facts then.
And then
Is
what
that
is
right?
six?
And number 6 is evaluate departmental / employee satisfaction of current chain of command and protections from executive pressures. And our members felt no need to pursue any additional changes. And the response to that could be, in our discussion with James Wolfe, we felt that there was sufficient firewall written into the personnel manual
Annual already, yeah.
that
So
we
what-
did not need to pursue that.
So that'll be under our findings on number 6, correct?
Exactly.
Is that-
But
is
they
that
do
right?
need an explanation. And if the commission then says, oh no, that's really not handled there because somebody has a bee in their bonnet and they want to really take this further, then they can. I mean, they'll see that we have
Mhm.
thought it through. But yeah, rather than just say we're not taking it forward, it helps to say why.
Mhm.
Policy. I'll call it policies and firewall, because that's the thing on that,
Do we
in the
do we-
personnel manual.
do we all understand what firewall means?
It's a protection, sort of.
Yeah, it's to not let one side get over the other side.
Okay.
It's why the government, it's why the council have a county manager between them and employees.
Okay, right.
It's the firewall.
Yeah, just so we're all on the same page that, and anybody who's reading that understands what
That's a
we're
good
saying there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Would
then,
you like me to not use it?
I think I would use more of an explanation you just gave, which I think is, I know it's a little bit more wordy, but it gets to the point.
Okay, I'll figure something out on that. Another, okay.
Because other people might have a different take on what firewall might mean. It's just a,
yeah, it's a term.
it's a term, that's right.
It needs defined.
Mhm, mhm.
Metaphor, like a metaphor. Okay. So our task list is pretty direct. We got
Yes, yeah, that's very good.
1 is done, 2 is done, and all of these have been vetted by legal. They've all
Oh,
have
good.
legal opinions. So we should have no problem with this.
Yeah, so
I think,
basically this is going to be our presentation to the CRC.
Exactly.
Now, wait a minute. Now we're up to number 3. So we have revisited ombudsman, and we
now
have,
we have public advocate.
yes. And then when you see the writing, well, we'll call it ombudsman, which evolved into public advocate, right?
Yeah.
Wait, okay, so we're staying with the ombudsman then? Or
I
you
was
could
just
have-
saying to address the fact that we were asked to do ombudsman and we're just evolving it to public advocate.
I'll
So
say that in the first line.
yeah, so
Ombudsman
from
for-
now on, it'll be public advocate. We won't worry about ombuds person.
Yeah, I think if we just go with public advocate, that's all we really need.
Yeah,
But
you
you-
might
you think we
might
should
just
leave-
say public advocate, and then if there's discussion brought up and say, well, we decided that that was a better word than
For
ombuds person.
Well, I think we have to say ombudsman. That was the assignment. So we just have to say it and say we've moved this into this.
Okay,
And that's all.
Ombudsman / public advocate.
Yeah, yeah. And I have a feeling, it seems to me, you guys might remember, James Wolfe was pretty much saying, you don't need an ombudsman. We don't need that here. He pretty much discouraged that. Is that your memory?
well, but that doesn't matter because.
No, I mean, should we
Yeah.
cite that in here?
No,
No, I don't think it has a
No.
place here.
Okay. So the findings will be our recommendation.
Yes,
Okay.
And
And
then
that
yeah.
is that right, Patty?
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, and what is 4? Because I don't have it in front of me.
I'm still finishing up with 3. So is there, that's it? That's all we need to say for the public advocate thing?
Well, you say
Well-
our recommendation, and then for findings, you can say that Snohomish County has this position, but we feel that we also need somebody to help us get around in our county from the public, rather than just addressing the negative. You know,
So-
you can put that in findings.
Well, we haven't voted on this.
no, we haven't. And I think we want to wait until we have the verbiage together that you're trying to put
Yeah,
together.
that you're
Maria.
putting on, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do a back and forth.
So it looks like we're gonna have one more meeting at least to confirm the advocate ombudsman language
Okay.
that we all agree. to
Okay,
submit.
cool.
But wait, that should be just about it.
Okay.
How do you people feel?
Right, we'll
Yeah.
work that one. So what is number 4?
Oh,
Number
wait a
4
minute.
is language reinforcing anti-bullying.
And what did we say? Is that one that we're saying is being taken care of? Or we did do it, we did.
Yeah.
do
We
it.
voted on it. We
Yep.
voted on it.
We voted
And
on that.
the wording that we have has also been checked with legal.
Sure, sure.
And it is see, what we're not saying to each other here is everything that we have that we voted on, we're recommending to the
Sure.
full commission, and that has to be clear.
Obviously.
Yes.
And this would be clear too, because this pertains to boards, commissions.
Yep.
Right. So
And that
what
was-
we voted on was the boards, commissions, et cetera, and we
Mhm.
didn't put did we say anything about language otherwise in the personnel manual and in the,
Yes, in the statement, it says, please refer to the personnel manual for a more detailed definition of all of these behaviors.
okay, so assuming then that the personnel manual already is sensitive to it and has it in there.
Yes, and
the
what I
coun-
like about James Wolfe is he is revising everything regularly.
Okay,
He
good,
watches it.
all right. Because I know there's a couple of people who are really sensitive about language,
Yes,
and how people are referred to, and I'm not, but it is something that's real.
well, I can assure you, I've been called worse than any of these things, so I'm not too worried.
Oh, come on, Maureen.
You live long enough and you get name calling. Okay, so this will be recommended. The bullying language, correct? That'll be recommended.
Oh,
forward.
for sure. Yep.
And we've already dealt with the last 2.
Yeah, got it.
Sweet.
Okay. So I'm going to revise this. It'll look a little like this, but it'll be shorter and it'll be more succinct. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Well, thanks for going over that. I think it was worthwhile to have another look at this.
Yes.
Are we ready to move to the next agenda item?
Mhm.
Okay, so looks to me that's salary information.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly how it went over when we presented that to the CRC. I did do some research on the charter, and there is a place in the charter that makes reference to salaries. Article 8, Personnel System, 8.30.
I got it out. Let me see.
It's under 8.30, and I'll read it to you. It's very short. Compensation for county elected officials shall be commensurate with their duties and shall be set by the duly appointed Citizen Salary Commission, and then makes a reference to an RCW. That's
And
it.
we do have very recent, what happened at the Citizen Salary Commission, which is changing the, what they use to compare, which will bring those salaries up. And we already have found out that that's happening. Remember? I mean, that's just recent. When the commission met, then they agreed to use the other comparator rather than the one they had been using, and that comparator is much higher. So I think the salaries is being dealt with at least a little bit, and I'm not sure that we need to.
Well, I had to fiddle with it, so I hope you don't mind.
Go ahead.
All I've done is add some verbiage to it, and I'm not sure if it's appropriate or not. So, but this is the place to kind of vent it out, right?
Yeah. I'm there.
So compensation of county elected officials shall be commensurate with their duties and shall be, insert the words, equal to the department head salaries as set by the duly appointed salary commission. So the words I've added, equal to the department head salaries.
Which I don't think we can do.
I don't think,
Well, I know I took a bit of a risk to take that leap, but there it is.
well, again, the citizen salary sets the electeds. We have nothing to do with that. We can recommend and, you know, say there's a disparity here,
Yep.
but we can't interfere with that.
So
And
what,
you know what, if the county, that's another huge expense. If the county has to up the electeds,
They will be doing some. They
well,
will
you're doing some, but it'll not be it'll not
It
hit
might
the top
be-
of that.
$10,000-$20,000 a position, you know, it's
well,
substantial.
I mean, we determine how much it's going to cost the county to bring them up to the, but I look at the other way around. Why don't you just take all the salaries of the department heads and move them down to where the electeds are? And that's parity too.
Well, that's what
know.
you're trying to do, but that's not going to happen either.
No, I
Of
know,
course,
I know.
The argument is, oh gosh, when you appoint somebody, you can go out and headhunt and take the best qualified, and they're going to be doing all of this
Right.
crap. And I really, I got tired of listening to the arguments because I think our appointed people are paid too much, but that's me.
I'm with you, Patty. I'm with you.
Maureen asked what the salaries is for the county manager
Yep.
and the health and community services director.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so are we able to get that from Mylene?
We got it. I put it on the list.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not sure that Patty heard what that salary
Oh,
is.
I did, and I know it's high.
I'm
you do-
sorry. What'd you say,
Okay.
Patty?
I said, I did see your most recent list. It's lost here somewhere because I didn't.
I'd like to know what deferred compensation is,
Oh,
where the county manager gets a deferred compensation of $6,000 a month.
Yeah.
no, let me go back to that because I contacted Mylene a couple of days ago and I went over those figures. And when she was telling me, she was at home when I called her.
Mhm.
And she has access through her computer at home to the county. And through that, she was able to come up with these salaries. And I made an error. It's that 6,000 per year.
Per. It's
Yeah.
not a
Well,
month.
not per month, but per year.
Oh, per year.
But
So-
what is,
What is it?
$6,000 per year is what the deferred compensation is. The actual salary for the county managers of $162,366 plus $6,000 per year deferred compensation.
And what is deferred compensation? What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you know what that means, Marie?
no, I think it's bullshit.
I mean, what does that that mean? Deferred compensation? It means you get it when you leave the office?
I should have asked my.
And why the health and community services person also gets it is mystifying. But this is what I do know, and I want you both to hear this. The county manager comes through a headhunter named Prothman. It's a big organization that headhunts for all like governmental jobs, and they're widely used everywhere. What these contracts that these guys come with are made up by Prothman people, and they are set up so that should they leave the job, they get 6 months of paid salary.
Crazy.
6 months. And they walk in the door with accrued vacation and sick leave, part of the contract.
Wow.
I've got that when Pete Rose was here, and it's the same for this guy too. It's a big fat package. And if this person were, and that's the other thing that I wanted to alert you guys to, in Kevin's email, he was talking about the county manager role is going to be up for full discussion, because in the elected, we have decided to keep them appointed for all the reasons in the world. You can't have an elected county manager in our community because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You don't have the proper credentials for the people that will run for it. But this job, this company, this Prothman thing is a big package.
Is that true
costs
with,
the county a lot?
is that true with other appointed positions too as well? I mean,
No, only ones that come through Prothman, because it's
oh, okay.
they put the contracts together.
Yeah,
And as part of my research for elected, people like these guys, if he gets an offer from Pierce County, he might just go there because he might get more money.
Sure. Yeah.
And he could get this package that follows him.
yeah,
I mean, it's pretty unbelievable.
yeah, it is.
So anyway, I
Wow.
think we can't do a heck of a lot with this. And I felt a grim reaction when we announced this, that we wanted to make a recommendation for the council to review it. I think there was even an email afterward that said the county is just not going to pay those higher rates for electeds.
Well,
That's really embarrassing.
Well, it's not comparatively in the state.
no, but I think.
Well, yeah, but again, when we talked with Wolf, it's the same thing is true. These people that are taking these higher salaries with all the department heads, not just the county manager, they're way ahead. I've been out of the office for 15 years, and I don't know what's happened in those 15 years, but we were not that far apart when I left county.
Right.
And what's happened to it is just outstanding.
Yeah.
I noticed in the thing that you sent about the commission or whatever met, when you had the PowerPoint, which was really cool. And then it showed back in 2000, I don't know, 4 or whatever it was, where they stopped keeping the electeds higher than the appointeds.
I think that was 2006 because all of our elected officials bailed out the same year, including myself.
Yeah, like, okay, they stopped that. And that was, 15 years ago.
Yep.
And it's been just the
Downhill ever
difference
since.
compounding. Yeah.
So at the last CRC, when we voted to return the council to 3 versus 6 and make it a full-time position, we recommended a yearly fee of $75,000 per commission, because we felt that was a working salary, and that was 10 years ago.
Right. So the commissioners really aren't paid all that much for the work that they do.
No, they're not. And now it's up to 97. So from 75 to 97 in 10 years.
You're talking about the elected officials' salaries in 10
Elected
years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Because the council when they went full-time, we made the recommendation and it was accepted.
For all elected officials.
Well,
Not-
for the
not just
council,
commission.
For
Oh,
the
just the council. All right.
but the
And-
council's at the same thing at 97. They're at the same rate.
And then the type of government we have, which is a council government with an appointed manager, that's, that's a power structure that we deal with, and the darn appointed manager gets paid too much. But if it's a council with an elected manager, they might get paid less, but then you have that structure.
Yeah.
They aren't, answerable to the council. And so you have to have it the other way, really.
Yeah, and you would get, you would get an elected from our neighborhood that was, we know could not do the job. These guys are very qualified.
Yeah,
They get
but
paid a lot because they do a good job.
you're, that's something that we can't, well, maybe you can, but we don't know who's out there that might be really, really qualified, or somebody from the mainland who decides, oh, hey, this would be great. I'd love to live on San Juan Island and I have all of this stuff. I'm going to run for that position. Do we require that they live here if they run?
Oh,
for
yeah,
it?
there's a residency.
Yeah, that's part of the charter.
Oh, okay.
the
Okay,
resident.
for any elected position.
Yep, that's it.
I see. Okay, well, that is a good point, although you might not know exactly. I mean, we claim to know the community we have, but we might not know the community we have. However, I think the biggest part of it is the power structure that we have, and we can't really have an elected and the
Yes, I
because
agree.
it would be- yeah.
Yeah.
So we
I'm just-
really can't go much further than what we already have with just bringing this to the people through the CRC's attention that this is the
That it's
situation,
not-
but there doesn't sound like they're willing to move on it.
But you know what I would do, Paul? I think we have an obligation here. And at the very end, say, we would still like to make a recommendation that the disparities be reviewed. And we don't have to make a big
Yes.
deal out of it. If
Exactly.
they choose to not add it to that letter to the council at the end, we've done it what we can, but I think it's good to represent it.
Well, can we go ahead and add that to our task list as a suggestion that
So I'll put a number 7 and it will be a review.
and recommendation, or do we want to say resolution from the CRC or a recommendation? Which is,
think-
We are going to recommend.
Okay.
Recommend, yeah. And that they will have a letter. of
so
recommendation.
what are we recommending?
That the council review the disparity in wages between the electeds and the department heads.
Okay, we will come out with a dollar amount. Let them do that. And then
Yes.
we'll
Exactly, they'll have it.
bring it to their attention. Yeah, okay,
The
that's good.
dollars- The dollars are changing. I
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Okay, well, at
And-
least, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, that's it. I'm just saying that, and we have this information which we can use to provide.
Well, I think we've come a long ways, folks. And Maureen, I thank you for your phrasing of our new, what do we call it? Not ombudsman, but public advocate.
Public advocate, yeah. I
I
know, I
think-
think it's a good idea.
I do too. And I think Patty comes along with it too. I think we're all in agreement that that's where we want to go.
What would you like me to do with this, with the salary list? Do you want to attach it to this?
I think it's helpful. I think we can attach it to it. That would be all right. We can knock off the proposed annual salaries. That's not necessary, but at least just show what the other people are making. That's important. However, we didn't add the county manager.
I typed it on one of the copies.
Oh,
sent
did you?
me. So
Okay,
I'll send that. I think it should go with this somehow.
I do too. Well, I do too. Let's
Also,
do it.
with the caveat of what we have just learned from the last salary commission meeting, that these are changing and being raised. So,
Yes, that's a good point.
you
But
know, it'd be nice to know what they're coming up with. And
yes,
put that there, and if there's still a huge disparity, which there will be, but it'll be less. So, I don't know.
So did you see the email from James Wolfe?
Is that what?
recently?
Yeah,
If
he
someone-
responded to my question about when they'd make changes or when they recommend it.
Yes, I read that.
Okay.
Did you,
Maybe
Patty?
it's Spring and
I know
fall.
I read it, but there's so much. So here is James Wolfe response. Let's see. Let me come up with that. This spring, they chose to reduce the number of comparator counties. So I know that's going to be okay. And the guidance of paying 5% above the median for the comparators, this decision, and they do not consider past commission guidance. So The decision resulted in increases for the elected officials, which they made effective beginning with the May 2021 pay period. So we do have some new salaries to deal with beginning today.
I'd kind of like to know what that salary is.
I know, so maybe Mylene knows it. I don't know.
Well, what I can write in this statement, which is now our new number 7, is that the Citizen Salary Commission is in the process of changing their comparators, and there may be increases.
Well, there are increases, it's been stated, but we don't know what they are. And we should know what they are because they are effective right now.
However, we should use the word parity. Have we reached
Yeah,
parity?
I like that parity, but
Yep.
we feel that there's still, that parity still, well, it's missing.
I'm using the word disparity
Disparity.
That works too.
That works too, same idea.
between electeds and department.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it does.
You know, he says in here, since 2010, every commission has expressed interest and concern for the budget and what non-elected employees receive. Darn right, it's
Right,
county money, and that's part of our review.
yeah.
And nothing's ever changed because of it. I mean, look at this list. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Is the reason that we pay so high, is it because we have to encourage people to come here from the mainland? Is that it? I mean, this is such a wonderful place to live.
Well, if you take a look at the people who are department heads, can you tell that they've been raised on this island, or have they come here a long time ago
I
and just
don't
applied
know,
for
I
the
don't
position?
know if they are.
Or did they apply for the position because of the
This-
position itself and the money that it's being offered?
I
They were
don't-
recruited here.
Recruited here,
they were
right?
recruited, and so, maybe we can still recruit good people with lower salaries.
They'll never do that.
I would
Once you climb that ladder, you're not gonna be able to climb down it. It's just gotta be,
Yeah.
stay up there.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I think.
So are we done?
I think we're about ready to wrap it up, don't you?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's been a
Oh,
good meeting, guys.
Do you have any public comments? There's nobody in our,
nobody here.
Oh, yeah. Do we have anybody here that's like to speak to the committee? Hearing none?
Nobody's waiting to get in, right?
So are we, do you think we're finished, folks?
Thank
yes.
you. Yeah. See you.
We're
So
done.
We shall adjourn.
Thank you very, very much, both of you.
Oh, thank you, Maureen.
Yes.
Get ready because we're going to have to do this again. We're going
Yeah.
to report this again.
Okay.
See you
Thanks.
See you next
So we're
Saturday.
on for next Saturday to vote. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll take the recording off.